Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's July 23rd, 2014, and here are our top stories.
Tonight, as mainstream media builds war hysteria, CNN surveys the public and finds they've already convinced 10% to go to war. And a Border Patrol veteran points out that opening the border to terrorists and gangs is asymmetric warfare conducted against the American people by its own government. All that and more on tonight's INFOWARS Nightly News.
And welcome back. Our top story tonight, insane. 1 in 10 Americans wants war with Russia over downed airliner. In a new poll on CNN and ORC, almost 1 in 10 Americans have expressed a desire to take military action against Russia should it be confirmed that Vladimir Putin's government was somehow involved with the downing of Malaysian Airlines flight MH17. The number may seem low at first, but it translates to 1 in every 10 Americans believing that a war with a nuclear superpower is a good idea. And if you go to conflict with anybody, especially somebody like Russia, you need to know what you're getting into, and also you need to have a very good reason to go in there in the first place. And as the article also points out, there are 85% of Americans of those polled believe what they've seen and read in the media concerning Russia and how Russia is definitively behind the attack. But the issue about this is we've seen a rep for the State Department come out and say that they use social media as a tool to get to this conclusion that it was Russia's fault, which is a really big deal to me because you can go on YouTube, you can go on Twitter, and you can find pretty much anybody saying anything. So the State Department it's a very big deal to me that we have a country that has the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, all these alphabet agencies, and that's not to say that I'm vouching for them spying on people. I'm not saying that at all. But if they have all these organizations, why on earth would you use something like Twitter or YouTube to make your point? And I'm not saying Russia's innocent. I'm not saying they're guilty. I'm not saying they did or did not do it. But you need to have better information than this before you go and make a decision as big as saying, hey, this person definitively did it, before you accuse somebody of murder, especially if war is soon to follow. And somebody else who is concerned about this, Michael Savage. That's why he had Paul Joseph Watson on his show, The Savage Nation, to discuss this very important issue. And we'll give you this full report, this special interview at the end of our show if you're a member of PrisonPlanet.tv. So this is another goodie for all you guys at PPTV. If you're not a member of PrisonPlanet.tv, consider becoming one. If you're watching this on YouTube or some other source, you can get a 15-day free trial. You get the nightly news, the Alex Jones Show, the special reports, the rants, all there at PrisonPlanet.tv. So listen to Michael Savage and also Paul Joseph Watson talk about the MH17 cover-up on PrisonPlanet.tv. Moving on. Islamic State bolstered by large cache of U.S. weapons. Just more weapons going to the terrorists. In addition to combat ground vehicles and artillery previously acquired from the Iraqi military, the new trove taken from U.S. bases includes more than 50 155mm M198 artillery batteries and 4,000 PKC machine guns. The M198 has a range of up to 25 miles. The PKC machine gun is a Soviet-era belt-fed Kalashnikov PK. The PK version can fire 650 rounds per minute, and the PKMT 800 rounds per minute. IS has threatened to attack and destroy Shia Muslim holy sites in southern Iraq cities of Karbala and Najaf. It has destroyed Christian and other holy sites in northern Iraq. So you have a group like ISIS, IS, whatever they want to call themselves this week. They go around to these abandoned military bases, these military facilities, and they're pretty much picking up whatever they want to get. And this is a big deal because you have all this military industrial complex hardware out there that's just ripe for the pickings. You know, it's one thing, if a Humvee gets attacked and the guys have to leave the Humvee and then the rebels or whoever come and strip it, that's understandable. But when you have pretty much complete facilities full of all these vehicles, full of all these weapons that you just leave there, that's a really big issue. So these guys aren't even just getting things, directly shipped over from the Obama administration like, the people in Syria. No, they're saying, hey, we're just going to leave it all out here and you can just come get whatever that you need. And this is a big deal. And this is why they say you need to bring these things back to the United States. This is why they say you need to bring the MRAP vehicles and all these other things here and give them to the SWAT teams. I don't want the SWAT teams to have them. I don't want the militants to have them. Just nobody needs to have this stuff. And they say that you need these because, some crazy veteran may start making IEDs. As far as I know, that's not happened here in the United States of America. But something that's going to start happening in the UK, potentially, journalists and anti-vax campaigners could be considered terrorists under UK law. The report focused on the definition of terrorism in the UK. which among other things currently means that someone could be considered a terrorist if they publish material that is considered to endanger life or to pose a risk to the health of the public. But the problem is that the law isn't specific enough, meaning that it can be applied to cases that do not have anything to do with terrorism, such as people who are concerned about vaccines. So let's say you have your published literature, it's school season again, and you're out there handing out your tracts to the people getting their children vaccinated. Well, they say, you could be a potential terrorist if you're doing these things. Or let's say you print out your Harvard study and you go to your city council meeting, the mayor flips you off like they do here in Austin. And you say, hey man, I got this Harvard study talking about how fluoride will lower your IQ. You could be a potential terrorist if you're over there in the UK. But you can also be a potential terrorist here in the United States if you do something as simple as wear blue jeans, or if you have a Ron Paul bumper sticker. If you have the wrong type of anything, they will label you a terrorist and come after you any way that they can. So you definitely don't want this type of authoritarian measures in your town or city. And something else that you don't want your borders to be wide open, because they try to say it's a racial issue, it's a humanitarian issue, it's a humanitarian crisis if you don't let people just flood into your borders. Border Patrol agents, UN taking control of America's southern borders. And this is something that's very serious and needs to be taken in the proper measure to get these things under control. Two anonymous Border Patrol agents reportedly told radio host Dave Hodges that under the pretense of labeling illegal aliens refugees, the United Nations is calling the shots on America's border operations, and that the UN is deciding which immigrants to ship to various parts of the U.S. I objected to admitting MS-13 gangsters into the U.S., and I was told that we have our orders and to treat them like anyone else, one of the agents told Hodges. Hodges says that he asked one of the men how they knew these immigrants were MS-13, and he said they could tell by the tattoos. So this is something that needs to be very much concerned, because they say, it's all about the kids, it's all about humanitarian crisis and intervention. Do you want gangsters coming in to your country? We have enough gangsters here. You see the guys with the blood tattoos, with the Crip tattoos, and now we're just bringing in more gangsters. And not all these kids are gangsters, not all these kids have illnesses, but you do have to address the people who are coming with these problems and bringing these issues into your country. Meanwhile, they're saying they're going to send, 1,000 National Guardsmen to patrol the border. They don't have arrest authority, so I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be doing. Meanwhile, we talked to one of the vice presidents of the Border Patrol in South Texas, and he says he would love to have the National Guard come and do administrative paperwork so his guys could get back out in the field, but that's not going to happen. They're still going to be changing diapers and warming up bottles. And somebody was so disgusted with the Border Patrol that he just had to leave. Former Border Patrol agent, government using immigrant children for asymmetrical warfare.
The whole idea of asymmetrical warfare is to defeat your enemy from within. It is not to attack him from without. Of course, the threat comes from without, but they have to be inside of the United States to effect a successful warfare strategy. If asymmetrical warfare is going to be successful,
and I encourage you to go to INFOWARS.com and see this full video clip. The gentleman stresses, just like the founding fathers did, that when America is attacked, we'll be attacked from within. And this doesn't necessarily mean a physical attack. You can just bring people into this country to vote against the things that your country stands for, such as, sovereignty, such as firearms and other rights. You can bring the people in here, and then you can have the soft takeover where you don't have to have people burning things into the streets. And I definitely want you guys to see this full clip on INFOWARS.com. These type of ideals are not to be forgotten, but something that they will do in this country, they will forget our veterans, and they've gotten to the point where they will lock you inside of a VA facility.
I was apparently left there and forgotten.
Veteran Marine Jeff Duck says he was afraid that nobody would believe him when he said he was locked inside this VA community clinic in Orange City on Monday, so he whipped out his cell phone to prove it.
Here I am inside the Orange City VA, and everybody's gone home.
You can see nobody's there. The waiting room is empty. No one is behind the counter.
Then the alarms went off. So at that point, I was pretty clear that I was the last one there.
So the Marine in this clip was very good-natured. He took it all with a joke and a smile. He says, it's unfortunate that this happened to him, but he's hoping that his plight will just shine a brighter light on the overall VA scandal. And we'll end tonight with this. This is probably the most scandalous of everything. City refuses to pay for Obama fundraising visit. It is not scandalous that they're refusing to pay for it, but the Obama administration would even foot these guys the bill. It says, according to Medina City Manager Mike Sourvein, prior presidential visits have cost local residents as much as $35,000 due to security-related issues, but not anymore. Saravain says the bill will instead be sent to the former Costco CEO, Jim Singal, the host of the president's $25,000 per plate Democratic fundraiser. So good for you guys. Tell them that, hey, I'm not paying for you. I'm not paying for the SWAT teams to guard you. I'm not paying to block the streets and all these facilities. You know, and that may fly in cities like Austin, unfortunately. You know, the trendies down on South Congress think it's so great to have Obama come down and not even go to the border. You know, I would have paid, you know, a couple $1,000s to clear the highways for Obama to go straight down to the border and go to these facilities, go to these Border Patrol facilities, go to these ICE facilities. But no, he doesn't do that. He goes down to downtown Austin, Texas. He's partying up with, you know, with all the big party stars, the movie stars and all those guys. But he doesn't want to do any real work, doesn't want to do any real issues. So hopefully we can send that $100,000 plus bill back to the Obama administration. And hopefully they don't take it out of sequestration money and say they have to shut down the White House for a week so he can go on a private vacation and send the kids to Cancun with the Secret Service. But that's it for this segment of the InfoWars Nightly News, but be sure to stay tuned. We'll have a special report from John Bound and company, the InfoWars crew, talking about the FEMA camps being built in South Texas, and also the Alex Jones Show Caller of the Week.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water?
Yeah, it does. Ugh.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
It has that processed flavor to it.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your ProPure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage or your home kitchen. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com. Chris in Nevada, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, Alex, from FEMA Zone 9 in the Empire of Lies.
You bet, brother.
You're speaking about asymmetrical this morning, and I thought it's important to define the word. The word means without symmetry, form, or order. Ab, order, chaos. In fact, chaos is the assembly of worshipers of Osiris. And when we hear crisis, it's the cry of ISIS in the global war. This is the silent weapons, quiet wars form of war, which is a constant, full-spectrum global battlefield. It's the soft type of war, or boiling frogs type, where everything is war in one form or another, so that the masses don't notice that war is being perpetrated against them. The Grand Drago, George Soros, a.k.a. Georgie Schwartz, is one of the key operators of the Council